Having a proper testing mechanism is the backbone of your ad account, and that account actually being able to scale. And running ads without any testing is a surefire way to blow up that account. What's up guys, Nikita from aspectagency.com, and today I'll be covering my bulletproof testing formula. And basically what it covers, the tips and tricks that I use to make sure that I'm on top of my account when it comes to testing, as well as making sure things are organized in my account. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So one of the main things that I employ in all of my ad accounts is having OCD level of organization. And what that specifically means is separating out all of my campaigns into their respective, purposes and responsibilities. So for example, everyone knows the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel methodologies when it comes down to, what the account should be structured as. Top of funnel is your cold traffic, middle of funnel is your retargeting, warm retargeting, and bottom of funnel is your hot retargeting. So for example, for an e-commerce store, top of funnel is just basic conversion ads, excluding website visitors and purchasers. Middle of funnel is website visitors and social engagers and video viewers. And bottom of funnel is people that added to cart, initiated checkout, viewed content, but did not purchase. So I like to separate all of my campaigns respectively, and even more so because within all of my testing campaigns, I have 3 top of funnel campaigns as well as 2 bottom of funnel campaigns. Middle of funnel still stays the same, but bottom of funnel is separated into 2. One is the normal bottom of funnel, one is a bottom of funnel cross-sell campaign. And here in the cross-sell campaign, we use the purchase people that have already purchased in the past, and we retarget them with upsells. So that's where the secondary bottom of funnel comes in, and that's when we like to use basically upselling. And then top of funnel, like I said, is split up into 3 different ways. And top of funnel is split up into 3 different ways because we use 3 different sections of top of funnel to properly test campaigns. So for example, we actually name them top of funnel 1, top of funnel 2, and top of funnel 3. So top of funnel 1 is responsible for audience testing. And this is purely where we use proven creatives to test out new audiences that we might employ in our top of funnel 3 campaign, which is our scaling campaign. Top of funnel 2 is where we test out our copy and creative using proven audiences that we've gotten from top of funnel 1. Once we find proven creatives and copy from top of funnel 2 and proven audiences from top of funnel 1, we combine both of those into separate ad sets with proven creative in top of funnel 3. And this is where we run CBO on that one campaign, and we basically use that campaign as a scaling campaign. And yeah, basically that's where actually money is being made, while top of funnel 1 and 2 are just mainly there to supply top of funnel 3 with creatives and copy if top of funnel 3 burns out. So making sure that all of your campaigns are very easily organized and very easy to reach is highly important in your account, because that's where if you need to pause something or if you need to reach something, exactly where those specific copies or those specific creatives are located in. Next up, as a part of OCD level of organization, is having creative and copy labeling. There's too many times where I've been in accounts that have messy account structures. Their like naming conventions are messed up, and it's very hard to even understand what's going on within the account because of things aren't being organized in that account. So one of the first things you can start doing is labeling the specific creative that you use and specific copy that you use in an Excel spreadsheet, and also having a specific campaign built out for them can also help. This is where we like to do that, is we like to have all of our creative and copy variations in one campaign, and we deploy them throughout top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, etc. So for example, we like to use 4, digit count numbers for creative and the letters, like the alphabet, for copy. So for example, 1003 is a creative, and that can go all the way up to 1090 or 1910. It can go all the way up to 1999 for different creative variations. And the thing is, we use different stages of prefixes for creative. So for example, 1000 is for top of funnel, 200 is for middle of funnel, and 300 is for bottom of funnel, and 400 is for bottom of funnel cross sell. So that way everything is easy to keep track of when it comes down to, you know, knowing what ad is going in where. So we know that 100, all those ads are going into top of funnel. And the thing is, like, everything is basically organized. And then same thing with letters for copy. Like, one copy variation is A, second copy variation with the same text, same call to action, everything, but a different headline is B. So we would pair those up together, and one ad in Facebook is 1001A, 1001B, etc. So having those things organized is crucial to, you know, understanding what's even going on within the account and being able to tie back results to specific copy or creative variations. Next up, this is basically piggybacking off of the last tip, is standardizing single variable testing. You know, single variable testing is one of the most important ways that you should be testing. Like, that is the gold standard. You should be able to single out what has been responsible for moving the needle when it comes down to testing a specific creative, copy, or audience. So for example, ad sets or audiences should be tested completely separately from creatives and copy. That's why we have top of funnel 1. Creatives and copy should also be tested separately from each other. So we should be using proven audiences and proven copy to test out for new creatives. And then vice versa for copy. We should be using proven audiences and proven creatives to test out new copy. So that way we know when we're testing out different things, we know that, oh, you know, if the ad set isn't doing too well, we know that, okay, the ad set, the audience is proven, the creative is proven, but the copy isn't proven. So that means the copy is failing to perform here. Or another ad set is failing. So, okay, the creative and copy that we're using here is proven, but the audience isn't. So we know for a fact that, you know, the audience that we're using isn't good, and we shouldn't use it in a scaling campaign. And that makes everything easier once you start to make everything more logical and start to systemize it, because then it makes not only your job easier, it makes the media buyer that you're managing easier, it makes even getting results easier, because you know you can track everything back down to single variables in Facebook. And it makes Facebook more of a science game than a luck game. So using proven variables is important when you're testing out for new variables. So like I mentioned, when you're testing out for audiences, only use proven creatives and copy. When you're testing out for creatives, only use proven audiences and copy. When testing out for copy, use proven audiences and proven creatives. And like I said, we have all of this separated out in the top of funnel 1 campaign, where we use proven creatives and copy. And then the top of funnel 2 campaign, we use proven audiences. And you might be asking, what makes it a proven audience or proven creative or proven copy? Well, great question. We like to measure the success of our campaigns by one metric, and that's conversions, which is probably the most important metric to use. So what we do here is we make sure that each variation or variable that we're testing for has at least 10 conversions at or under our ideal cost per acquisition. So for example, if we're looking for, you know, a creative, like if a creative has like 9, or like if it has a creative test that we're running has 7 conversions, we would want to make sure that it gets to at least 10 before moving it on to having it be a successful test, essentially, and having it at CPA. And another thing here before moving on to the next point is make sure that whenever you're launching new tests, make sure to put them in a separate ad set every time you run the test, because that compartmentalizes everything and it's easier to track down. So for example, you label one ad set like creative 1004 test with a copy, and now you can just go down to like, okay, I've used this copy variation, use this audience variation, but not this creative variation. So easier to figure out what's going on within the account, also stay organized. And another thing, when you're launching these new ad sets, make sure you only have 3 variations max within the ad set, because that will actually, anything more than that will hinder your performance, or if you're running ads at 25 bucks a day, at 3 is the maximum, absolute maximum limit there for that one specific ad set, because anything more, it'll take way too long for you to understand whether the ad sets or the creatives or copy are failing, because in order for them to realize, you have to have enough statistical significance in order to realize whether the creative or copy are worth continuing to test for. But which segues into the next point that we have here is knowing when to cut your losses. Knowing when to cut your losses is crucial, because here is basically, this is what makes you a media buyer or a gambler. Because if you don't know when to cut your losses, you're essentially gambling with Facebook, and Facebook is the casino. So what qualifies someone to know whether they can cut their losses? Like how can you determine when you can cut your losses? It's important to have data that has enough statistical significance before shutting your ads off. So how can you determine whether your ad has enough statistical significance? Well, number one is you can have that ad run, or those ads run, for at least 2 to 3 days. That's usually a good amount of time before understanding whether that ad has enough clicks, what their click-through rate is, what the purchase rate is, the conversion rate, etc. Like 2 to 3 days, at least 3 to 4 days even. I'd give some ads. That gives that ad enough time to optimize and also have enough data for you to understand whether it's a winner or not based on the KPIs that you measure. Number two is having a specific reach. So making sure that your ad has reached enough people. So we usually look for anywhere between 1,500 to 3,000 people reached, with a specific number of purchases on top of that, to understand whether the ad has been successful. Number three is if the ad has gotten enough clicks. Having enough clicks is important because that's where you can understand whether enough people have seen the actual landing page, or going off of, instead of clicks, landing page views, to see whether enough potential buyers have been on the page, whether or not the click-through rate was worth the money that you've spent, as well as whether you have enough data of enough people landing on your page before you know when to shut the ad off. And lastly, actually, going off the dollar figure. So sometimes we do this with some of our accounts where we look for, the CPA, whether, if the ad has spent at least CPA or sometimes even double CPA, we'll know whether or not it has enough statistical significance to shut it off or not. And that's including some purchases, obviously. So for example, if it spent double CPA and it got no purchases, it's obviously getting shut down. But if it spent at least CPA and it's gotten one purchase, and it's on one of those types of ads, whether it's like, I don't know if I should leave it on for one more day, that's where we look at the data and realize whether we should shut that ad off or not. And it's important here to use those KPIs to your advantage, because the good thing about Facebook is that they have a tool called automated rules. And what you can do with these automated rules is you can set up specific rules to go ahead and shut down specific tests in a specific campaign when they meet those, kill KPIs is what I would call them. When they meet those kill KPIs, Facebook can automatically shut those tests down, so that way you don't go over budget, or you don't have to be constantly in an ad account, and it sort of makes your life easier and helps you automate certain tasks when it comes down to testing your accounts. The only problem is sometimes there's delayed attribution on Facebook's end, and you would have to go ahead and retroactively unpause those ads or ad sets if Facebook wrongly shut them down and delayed attribution kicked in. So those are pretty much the tips that I have for you as far as the testing formula that I personally use. Like, I use all of these points, managing them down to a T with all the client accounts that I manage, as well as all of my media buyers. That's pretty much it. Are you a store owner that wants to add at least an extra $50,000 to $150,000 monthly recurring revenue to your bottom line? Then let's hop on a scaling initiative call and see how Aspect can help your store or brand scale. The link to book the call is down in the description below, and you can go ahead and click there, and it'll lead you to a booking page where you can sign up. With that being said, thank you again for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you have any ideas for anything related to Facebook or media buying or e-commerce that you would want me to cover, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.